What do you think is going to be the biggest surprise for the Titans this season?
I will have to say, and we touched on this already, but despite the loss of Harold Landry, I still think this could be a top 10 defense, which, is going to be a shocker because of how good Harold Landry is. But I really like the depth that they still have at the edge. I think there's an awful lot of talent in the defensive secondary. So I think this defense is going to still step up. And as I say, it better, because I'm not so sure about the Titans offense.
So my last question is just based on experience. I know I've been working with the Titans for a while. What was it like covering that playoff win against the Ravens when they shocked the world 3 years ago?
It was incredible. I think nobody, including all of us media that covered the Titans, expected that. And they went on a nice little run there. They also beat the Patriots that year, and that's when you kind of really started to get a feel that I think that Mike Vrabel was a pretty impressive coach, because you saw some things against the Ravens and against the Patriots that kind of you got a sense that, okay, they still may be the less talented team here, but they prevailed nonetheless. They devised, specific defenses to stop the Ravens and Patriots. And, it was quite an impressive win, I would say.
We both picked we both picked the Titans that year.
Yes,
and the rest of the network, when we had larger shows at that time, thought we were both crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I'm impressed. Okay. You guys would have been two more than the Nashville media picked them, I think.
Yeah.
By the way, I wouldn't want to get in the way of Mike Vrabel.
No. I think there's like, when you always have that debate, a hypothetical debate of whose coach would come out the winner. If there was a brawl with all the coaches thrown in, I think there's only one guy that might contend. That would be Dan Campbell of Detroit. It's the only guy in my mind that might contend with Vrabes, but I don't know. Vrabes got a little bit of scariness to him as well. So
yes.
It's definitely a 1-2 right there.
When I saw A.J. Brown get traded at the draft and I saw his face, it was something that it looked like he wanted to rip whoever was making that decision, rip his effing head off. Okay. That's how mad he was. I saw him get up and he walked right out of the room. So
right. You kind of wondered whether he was going to put his fist through a plate glass window.
He was not happy. He was not happy.
And then of course, and then 5 minutes later, he's coming out at the podium and saying he and General Manager John Robinson were in lockstep the entire way on this, sure. and in total agreement. So, I'm not so sure about that.
Yeah, well, I like I like ice cream. Does that mean that I like coffee ice cream just because I like ice cream? The answer would be no.
Just make sure Mike Vrabel, next time he's on camera during the draft, you don't see his son in the background of the toilets.
Oh, my God. That's true.
That was entertaining. That was something we did not expect.
Welcome to the pandemic. Your
right.
son's on the toilet on camera during the NFL draft.
Never had a coach had to explain the fact, or at least try to explain the fact that his son was actually not on the toilet, taking care of business during the draft. That was,
Well, at least you're not Philip Rivers doing an interview in the bathroom.
Yeah, basically.
Well, we've heard some crazy stories about Philip Rivers jumping out of bushes, scaring his own players. So,
that's right.
I mean, we've had some interesting people tell us stories about Philip Rivers, that he's a jokester. But we really appreciate you joining us. I know Speedy's been reaching out to you a little bit, and I know you're a very, very busy man, but we'd love to get you back on as the season progressively moves forward and see what your thoughts are with the Titans and how strong do you think they're going to be moving on to the middle of the season. But definitely love to talk to you again. You're great, and we'll speak to you soon, my friend.
Okay, thanks, guys. I enjoyed being on.
John Glennon, my friend. By the way, as a great personality, knows his Titans, and I wasn't trying to throw Burks under, whatever he thought I was throwing him. But A.J. Brown is a guy that I really, really enjoy watching. It's a shame that he's playing for Philadelphia. I think he's going to have a great season with Smith over there on the other side. I think they're going to be fun to watch. Philadelphia it's a very interesting team this year, especially in the NFC, because of the strengths that they added to that team in the offseason. They were a 9-8 team last year. Now you definitely gotten better offensively. It's definitely much better. And defensively, they did too. So, and they had a three-headed monster as far as running backs are concerned. So they have weapons, and I think it'll be fun to watch A.J. Brown on a more elusive offensive team. The Titans, you knew where it was going. It was going either to A.J. Brown or they were running the ball to Derrick Henry. Everybody knew what they were doing. But when you have a weapon like that on the outside, you gotta pick your poison. Are you going to expect A.J. Brown to beat you on the outside because he's going to go deep, or are you going to let the beast run all over you? So, and now this year it's all about the beast. He's going to have to run over everybody for this team to score, and that's going to be a big problem. And I can't wait to see what Vrabel does when teams figure that out and they stack the box and they say, okay, beat us on the outside. Let's see what Burks could do on the outside. Let's see what your rookie wide receivers could do on the outside against our star corners.
They do play this year, too. Hopefully Mike Vrabel can game plan for his former wide receiver. That would be cool.
Absolutely. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a really fun season. I expect it to be more interesting in the AFC than the NFC because the NFC, you know who the powerhouses are. You know where it's probably going. There's 7 teams that make the playoffs. I think everybody can name probably 6 out of the 7 teams that are going to make the playoffs in the NFC. In the AFC, it's open. It is so open. You don't know who's going to make the playoffs. It's everybody says it's strength of schedule. When you look at the schedule, some of these bad teams that everybody thinks is going to be bad could be good. So you just don't know with the AFC what's going to happen with these rookie quarterbacks. You have Justin Herbert. He has a lot to prove this year. Burrow has to prove that it wasn't a fluke last year going to the Super Bowl. I mean, there are a ton of quarterbacks. You have Derek Carr. He has his best friend playing with him in Adams. I expect Adams to explode this year, but then again, it's not Aaron Rodgers. So.
And then again, it's also Josh McDaniels coaching.
That's true too. I mean, that's going to be fun. That's going to be fun to watch when he gets into trouble. And are they playing the Patriots this year?
I don't think so.
Oh man, I would love to see.
No,
Josh McDaniels
the Patriots would play the second place. Oh no, actually they might. No, I think they do actually. Yeah, because the Raiders were second place. I believe they do.
Oh, I can't wait to watch that. I can't wait to watch that because I saw. And if anybody hasn't seen. Wink was Bill Belichick was so upset what Wink was doing defensively to the Patriots in the preseason game. He was pissed. If you haven't seen the press conference,
it's a late season Sunday night football game.
Yes.
Patriots at Raiders.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's going to be really
18th.
really fun. That's going to be really really fun because I know Josh McDaniels and Bill Belichick. They know each other very, very well. One's offensive mind, the other one's a defensive mind. And who's the Patriots' offensive coordinator?
It's interesting. You always have this thing of Bill Belichick does well against his assistants, except for 2018. And John, you know this too. The Titans blew out the Patriots at the end of that season. I think it was like 34-10 or something like that. They also got blown out by the Lions that year of all teams when Patricia was there. Oh
my God, I can't wait to watch that disaster of a game. I mean, there's so many questions with a lot of these teams, and that's why predicting is so hard with the NFL because every year it could change. And teams remember Cincinnati before last year, they were a 4-win team.
Right.
They were a 4-win team, and they go all the way to the Super Bowl the year after. So anything is possible.
49ers did that year, their year too. They were a 3-win
they got
team
Joey
in 2018.
Bosa, and Joey Bosa changed their.
Nick Bosa.
Nick Bosa changed the whole outlook to their defense. One player could change the whole outlook to a team. Look at Micah Parsons, what he did last year for the Cowboys. I mean, the teams were double, triple teaming him. You can move him inside. You can move him on the outside. Now we're going to see what Micah Parsons can do. Micah Parsons can do when teams understand what he is going to do at the line. So they move him to the inside linebacker position. Do they move him to the outside as a defensive end? What teams are and how they're going to defend against him? He might not look as explosive, or maybe he'll look even more explosive, being that he has a second season under his belt. So there's just so much stuff and what ifs and could this happen? Could that happen? What about the draft picks? Some of these young players that are going to be going into their first year. I mean, Garrett Wilson, a lot of people loved. I want to see him in a full season with the Jets. Is he going to be explosive, or is he going to be the guy that everybody thought coming out of Ohio State? And by the way, the Ohio State Buckeyes, they have had a lot of good first-round wide receivers that have come out of the draft and that have been explosive coming into the NFL. And then there have been some guys, a.k.a. from the Jets, in the second and third rounds from Ohio State that were complete busts. So you just don't know what these guys are going to turn out to be. And that's what is so fun about the NFL, because there are guys that get drafted in the 5th and 6th round you never even heard of, and they become superstars in the NFL. And then undrafted guys like Victor Cruz, they just shine, in the preseason, and then they finally play in the NFL games, and then they explode, and they get their big contracts, and they completely disappear off the off the face of the earth. So anyways, John, thank you, bud.
Okay, guys.